Fortnite's DEATHSTAR live event is over, and now we're headed into the super season. And while we're about to be lasering people with our eyes, we have to appreciate this mid-chapter finale. From a feature that foreshadows the future, to a golden hilt lightsaber, here is every secret you missed. Most players were super distracted running through the halls of the Death Star to notice this, but at moments when you're on a thin platform, you could actually jump off and hear the most iconic sound in Star Wars. If you're a fan of droids though, you might have spotted some of the coolest ones roaming around. It is the classic mouse droids that clean the Death Star. Not to mention, when you come across Palpatine for the final boss battle, his lines are taken directly from Return of the Jedi.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
And did you know, he also quotes the Rise of Skywalker.
Let your death be the final word in the story of rebellion.
You'll even notice he pulls out a golden hilted lightsaber. This is his very own saber from the films that never even appeared in Battle Royale.
Let your death.
But one of the funniest moments in the event had to be the appearance of Fishstick. He was literally just chilling here, minding his own business, and that's when the Riftigo sent him to a totally unknown location.
Those have not been tested in space, so do not shake it.
I'm sure he's fine.
This might have been the end of the story if you weren't paying attention. But if you stopped listening to Jones in one of the later rooms and just looked out the window, you would have seen where Fishstick rifted to. This is yet another addition to the running gag of Fishstick dying in trailers, and I guess even in live events, he just can't escape death. Let's rewind a second, because if you look at the place where Fishstick was sitting, you'll spot a ton of artifacts from a chug jug, to a mythic goldfish, and even this strange statue of a llama lifting weights. We have no idea what this is, but the fact it was a part of Fishstick's collection must mean it's an upcoming item. Even though it's super tiny, maybe it'll even become a real-life trophy or the next version of the mythic goldfish. One of the strangest things about this event is how the Death Star has items which never appeared in the actual Star Wars season. Not only can you find AT-ATs fully completed and stood up, unlike their destroyed POIs on the map, but you could even spot AT-STs in the background, fully modeled and ready to go. If Epic went out of their way to design these, I'm wondering if they were meant to be in the game as vehicles and then just were never completed. Or maybe they're just a cool decoration and we're looking into it too much. Either way, I would have loved to use these during the season. Speculation aside, there is one thing for certain. This event was for the true Star Wars fans. There are so many callbacks to the films in here, like from us disabling the tractor beams, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi does in A New Hope, to Jones saying,
I got a bad feeling about this.
which, as you know, it's the classic line from Star Wars.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
But there's also callbacks to the stormtroopers telling us to move along. And personally, I love when Jones tries to pull off a Jedi mind trick, even though he doesn't have force powers.
You don't need to see my identification.
What?
Hey, worth a shot, right?
Let me know in the comments if you picked Stormtrooper or Prisoner as your role, because if you chose Prisoner, you'll notice the new cuffs feature that was made for the event. Now, normally, we would assume this was just for the occasion and that they'll never return. But these exact handcuffs have been in the files for months at this point, and Fortnite is making them customizable. That's right, this could be our very first look at a new gameplay mechanic in the future. But the most important part of this whole event is what it means for next season. As you know, it ended with a bang literally, and that's sent a ton of debris down to the island in true Operation Skyfire fashion. So did you see that? This debris crashed straight into Daigo's portal, which has been powering up for the last few weeks. And thanks to all of this, the Spirit Realm has officially been unleashed onto the Fortnite Island just in time for Season 3. Well, it's less than you think, with Magic Meadows now gone to be replaced with the Supernova Academy. Then, Mass Meadows got hit, but not by wreckage, instead Daigo's portal, transforming the whole place into Demon's Domain. Then finally, Seaport City has been destroyed and rebuilt anew with Utopia City, a huge new futuristic town. Then there's the Battle Pass. Obviously, if you waited after the event, you would have heard the new theme tune for our first collab of the season. That's right, none other than Superman showed up in space to see the island in ruins. And now he is our downtime screen for Season 3. But did you know he'll be the secret skin in the past and joined by a bunch of other heroes? And that's not all, Superman is getting his very own mythic next season, and you guessed it, it's Laser Eyes. Right alongside him is another DC character, Robin. You'll unlock him right at Tier 1, and he even has a style for Red Robin as well. Then we've got Haley Sky, which is an innocent cheerleader, right? Well, turns out her connection to the Storm transforms her into Storm Beast, which is Fortnite's own version of the Hulk. Next we have Ziggy, a literal chameleon in the past who is super chill. I mean, he's not really a superhero, but I guess he's just the meme skin of the season. Then Synthwave comes in with a casual style before equipping her super suit for her sonic powers. This will be another power you can pick up in the season and just use for yourself. After her is Killswitch, whose superpower is effectively good aim. Yeah, he is Fortnite's own take on heroes like Hawkeye, who are essentially just insanely skilled at whatever they do. Then we have Light Rider, who is literally Reboot Girl. Her whole power is rezzing players and has the reboot cubes all over her, so of course her set looks insanely cool. Then there's Mist, who seems to be a rookie in training at the academy with her own dark powers. We'll even get to use her own gauntlets in the season, but if you want her, you'll have to hit Tier 100. Now, if you've been following our leaks for a while, you'll know that Fortnite is revamping the entire pet system into something new. They're gonna be called companions. Gone are the days of generic backblings with a dog on them. Next update, we'll be able to get our very own pets that actually follow us around, and it all starts with Crypto the dog. Well, that fits the season perfectly. There's a crossover about to drop which makes no sense at all, but I'm excited anyway. Bob's Burgers is coming to Fortnite, and clearly Epic are going full throttle on the cartoons this season because they'll also be joined by King of the Hill in the very same update. In fact, Family Guy is returning for part 3. We already have Peter and the giant chicken, but finally someone new is coming to the game. I just didn't expect it to be Cleveland Brown. And yeah, you're looking at 100% genuine photos of his skin in Fortnite. Like, it's not a concept, he's in the files as we speak. That means he could also drop at any moment. And so there's a reason for all of this. You might think it's random, except you gotta ask the question, what do Cleveland, Bob Belcher, and Hank Hill have in common? They are all TV dads, and this means all 3 of them are coming to the game this Father's Day, aka June 15th. Here's something else the dads are gonna love. A classic DJ is coming to the game this season, and it's not who you think. We've all been waiting for Daft Punk after they were heavily rumored to be the next festival artist, and while we wait, someone else is coming. Deadmau5. Now, even though a ton of younger fans will ask the question, who? You gotta admit, he's gonna look pretty amazing as a Fortnite skin. Just look at how well Marshmallow sold. Now, we've been talking a lot about crossovers and new outfits, but what about the original stuff? Well, with the brand new Superhero Academy, we're also getting original mythics, like this one, which has a tracking visor stuck to your face. It'll probably let us lock onto enemies with ease, and as you can see, he's also holding dual pistols, which sounds super deadly when combined with this. Now, with all this Hero Academy and even rankings, what's the perfect anime collab to debut this season other than One Punch Man? First, we had leaks about it, then Darth Vader's AI literally described his outfit exactly before he's in game, and now Mark Rain chose S tier as his teaser for the season. So if there's one anime character to expect to appear later on, it's Saitama. For now, he hasn't appeared, but the trailer has finally released. That is everything we've learned from the Death Star sabotage event. Stick around because the season is coming up in just a few hours and we'll be covering that too. It's been Tommy, keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.